My name is Monica Moss, 34 years old, and I built my digital marketing agency from the ground up after that explosive family dinner in Reno 10 years ago. My dad bellowed right in my face, calling me trash, after my sister accused me of stealing from the family inheritance stash he'd hidden away for years. Instead of backing me up, she screamed that I was a liar who'd always taken advantage, pointing straight at me with that accusing finger while her voice cracked the air. "You've been jealous since we were kids, grabbing whatever you could." She spat, her eyes narrowing like I'd planned it all along. Dad didn't hold back, his voice booming as he grabbed my arm and shoved me toward the door like I was some stranger who'd crashed the meal and ruined everything. I froze there for a split second, heart slamming in my chest as the accusations kept piling on, my sister yelling about missing checks from Dad's old safe, claiming I'd snuck them during a quick visit last month when no one was watching. "You're nothing but a leech, Monica, trash we should have cut loose years ago." Dad roared, his face turning beet red, veins popping in his neck as he slammed his fist on the table so hard the plates jumped and silverware clattered. The whole room went dead silent after that hit, except for my own ragged breathing echoing in my ears. I could feel the heat rising, but I didn't yell back or beg for them to listen. No, I just snatched my keys from the counter with a steady hand, turned on my heel, and walked out into the dark night, letting the screen door click shut behind me with a final snap. That was it, cut clean, no loose ends. At that family dinner, turning what should have been a celebration into a total war zone. Dad finally doubled down from the porch steps, his voice low and sharp as he called after me, "You're only making it worse, Monica, just go and don't come back stirring this up." But I slid into my car without a glance, engine humming to life as I peeled away. 1 week later, I made a move that brought their perfect little setup crumbling down in hours. My phone exploded with 38 missed calls from unknown numbers, and next thing I knew, she was right there, pounding on my apartment door at dawn, voice breaking through the wood. Before I dive deeper into how it all unfolded from there, hit the comments. What's the worst family blow-up you've survived, and where are you tuning in from right now? Your stories might just inspire the next twist. Let's build this community one raw share at a time. In Reno, Nevada, my sister Julie Shaw and I stuck together like glue from the start. She was 5 years older, but we handled everything as a team in our quiet suburb, where summers involved hiking trails near Lake Tahoe, and winters meant building snow forts in the backyard after storms rolled through the Sierra Nevada. Our connection seemed solid, especially once the arguments between our parents ramped up. I was 9 when things got bad. Mom June Tate shouting at Dad Kurt Banks about bills piling up and his long hours at the construction site. By my 13th birthday, Dad moved out for real, settling into a tiny rental across town near the Truckee River. Mom spiraled hard, locking herself in her room for days, struggling to pull shifts at the local diner. Julie, at 18, jumped in without a second thought. She picked me up from school in her rusty Chevy, threw together quick meals from canned goods when Mom couldn't manage, and sat with me through geometry problems even as she balanced her own courses at the community college. We'd hang out on the back deck at dusk, talking about our futures under the Nevada sky. Mine involved launching a digital marketing agency to guide small businesses away from the ad scams that hit families like ours. Hers was straightforward, keeping us tight-knit, and maybe partnering on something big one day. Julie and Monica's marketing powerhouse. She'd tease, gesturing grandly like we owned the world already. When kids at school picked on me for my thrift store outfits, Julie stormed into the counselor's office and set things straight. Those bullies eased off quick, and she showed me how to hold my ground. Her shield made the chaos feel manageable. Julie passed on a spot at UNLV to stick around and support Mom. She signed up for classes at Truckee Meadows Community College, instead working evenings at a casino coffee shop. I dove into schoolwork, landing a full scholarship to Sacramento State when the offer arrived. Julie was the one I called first. She pulled me into a bear hug, beaming, even while fretting about me heading out. "This is your launch pad," she'd say, Grab it for us both. In my freshman year, Julie crossed paths with Levi Reed during a marketing seminar. He came across smooth with neat style and tales of his family's online adventures. Things escalated fast between them, weekend trips turning into constant plans. Levi appeared helpful at first, showing up for our casual get-togethers and chuckling at Julie's quips. But I spotted the red flags early. He'd probe our sibling dynamic, commenting like, "You two act like one unit, but she's building her path now." Julie began skipping our usual chat, citing Levi's schedule for some networking gig or another. Levi's influence snuck in via finance chats. He'd murmur to Julie that I was pulling from family resources with my tuition despite the scholarship covering most. One time, he hinted I might be dipping into Dad's hidden inheritance envelope without asking, sowing mistrust. Julie pushed back initially, but Levi's persistent jabs chipped away. "You're too lenient with her," he'd insist. "She's leaning on you too much." I tried addressing it with Julie one-on-one, but she'd wave it off. "He's just watchful," she'd claim. "You wouldn't get it yet, still in classes." The shifts sped up post-engagement. Levi urged a flashy venue that strained Julie's savings, and he worked to pull her away from me. Our debt conversations faded, swapped for his schemes about their joint ventures. He'd scoff at my agency ambitions, saying, "That's quaint, but true wins come from networks, not textbooks." Julie started mirroring him, her tone sharpening whenever I updated her on my progress. Levi had warped our tie, framing me as a rival instead of kin. I pushed to fix it, but the gap widened, paving the way for that shattering dinner down the line. Still in Reno, the strain with Levi hit a peak at a family gathering. It happened on my final trip home after wrapping up at Sacramento State. I'd driven back to mark the milestone with Mom, Dad, and Julie, eager to outline my startup plans for the agency in Sacramento. The spread included Dad's grilled steaks and potato salad, a go-to that normally eased tensions. Levi positioned himself at the end, steering talk toward his recent ad campaign successes. Julie clung to his every detail, her ring glinting as she agreed. As coffee hit the table, Levi shifted focus to me. "So, Monica," he drawled, easing back, "word is you're off to Sacramento chasing that marketing gig. Bold move." I nodded carefully, picking up on his sarcasm. "Yes, I've lined up some freelance spots. The scene there thrives for agencies aiding startups with online strategies." Julie eyed him before adding, "Seems shaky. Levi's killing it with digital ads here. Why not team up locally?" The discussion veered to household funds, and Levi launched his strike. "Hey, Kurt," he said to Dad, "I've glanced at those old envelopes. Looks like some cash vanished from that inheritance setup you stashed after the split." His gaze snapped to me. "And Monica's the whiz with campaigns and budgets? What are you getting at?" I shot back, cup halfway to my lips. Julie's expression tightened. "He's implying you swiped it. Monica, you've splashed out on college extras." I gaped at her, shock hitting hard. "That's nonsense. I haven't touched any of it. Scholarships handled it all." Levi pressed on, voice sharp. "Admit it, you've held grudges since the divorce. Figured you earned a cut." The buildup from Levi's whispers had poisoned everything, leading straight to the eruption that changed it all. From there, the distance only widened. In Sacramento, I leased a small unit downtown and dove into my agency, kicking off with gig work for local tech firms. I hustled in cafes and hit up marketing events. The California vibe fueled my drive, easing the sting gradually. I nabbed my initial client, a budding app company seeking ad revamp, and referrals poured in. Soon, I brought on help and scaled up. Brittany Blake turned into my anchor in those startup phases. We connected at a networking mixer, and she pierced my facade. "You're hauling a load," she noted over lunch one day. I opened up about the gathering, and she absorbed it without critique. "Turn it into fuel," she suggested. "Don't let them shape you." Her backing sustained me through endless hours drafting pitches and optimizing campaigns. My agency specialized in steering businesses clear of the promo pitfalls that wrecked homes like mine. Yet the echo of that confrontation persisted, a cue of how fast loyalty could crumble. Over the following 10 years in Sacramento, I forged a path from scratch. That Reno gathering where Julie struck and Dad ejected me became a mark I bore but wouldn't allow to dictate. My digital marketing agency sprouted in a tight space near the Capitol. I began with modest accounts, often local shops tangled in bad ad spends. Extended sessions tweaking algorithms and emailing prospects defined my days. My breakthrough came securing a deal with a regional e-commerce site, pulling them from ad debt with custom strategies. Buzz grew, and I expanded to a team of 12, then 25, in a polished midtown suite. By year 4, I purchased a sleek loft with views of the Sacramento River. The flowing water soothed my uneasy evenings. I attempted to maintain links back home, sending holiday packages for Julie's children, Megan Gray and Ford Pierce, aiming to remain part of their world despite the divide. Items like puzzles and coding sets shipped annually, but they returned sealed, marked, refused. Julie's quiet cut deeper than anticipated. Mom phoned occasionally, her words tentative. She'd inquire about my project sidestepping that event. I'd respond briefly, "Doing okay, Mom." I'd reply, evading her bridges. The wound remained fresh to feign normalcy. Around year 5, Dad messaged about our aunt's passing. I traveled back to Reno for the service seeking a mending opportunity. At the chapel, Julie stood beside Levi, Megan, and Ford close by. Megan, around 3, glanced curiously, but Julie tugged her aside before I approached. Levi dodged my look, posture rigid. I neared Dad afterward, tone soft. "Can we discuss it?" He shook his head, eyes damp. "Not today, Monica. Too heavy." Julie ignored me as they departed, hand on Ford. I lingered alone, accepting repair wasn't imminent. Returning to Sacramento, Brittany kept me steady. We'd grab bites at a spot near my office where she'd urge me to vent. "You're beyond their errors," she'd affirm, steady and warm. She was a strategy consultant with her own kin issues, and her insights resonated. "Channel into your builds, not losses." I embraced it, directing energy to the agency. We grew to assist larger outfits hosting webinars on ad optimization that packed rooms. My profile rose in trade pubs, a quick mention, then features. I sought no spotlight, but the nods affirmed I exceeded their label. Solitude crept in, though. Quiet nights in the loft, I'd gaze at the river, pondering if Julie regretted her action. I saw someone casually, a startup exec named Alex, who matched my pace, but not my walls. It ended after months. Brittany spotted the burden. "Release is okay," she said over drinks. "They're not your owners." Her phrase lingered, prompting therapy with Dr. Elena Vargas, who aided unpacking the rift. "Forgiveness waits. Focus on not letting their picks shatter you." Sessions turned safe, havens rebuilding sans their influence. By decade's end, the agency spanned nationally, clients in 7 states, staff at 60. I presented at summits detailing tactics to dodge ad traps. The twist wasn't lost. Their claims honed my skills. I'd crafted a proud existence. Yet Mom's contacts dwindled, Julie's void complete. Brittany maintained my focus, stressing no need for their nod to succeed. 10 years post-Reno exit, an unfamiliar number rang. I dismissed it initially amid a team huddle in my Sacramento suite overlooking the river. Calls persisted, 38 total in quick succession. I answered eventually, Julie's tone frantic, piercing through. "Monica, emergency talk now." My gut twisted, but I set a meet at my loft later. Pulling up there, they stood, Julie, Levi, Megan, Ford, beside a loaded van, bag scattered. Julie appeared, drained hair, messy eyes swollen. Levi, slouched charm, faded to weariness. Megan, 10, held a toy tightly. 8-year-old Ford scuffed dirt, seeming lost. Seeing my niece and nephew struck deep. They were unknowns due to that night. "Why here?" I questioned, voice even as I exited the vehicle. Levi spoke up, feigning ease. Tough patch, Monica. Crypto market crashed, wiped my investments, lost my ad roll in a firm shutdown. Julie nodded, dabbing tears. Bank seized our home last month, homeless now. Megan interjected. Motel had a weird smell Dad wouldn't let us explore. Ford added, no good games either. Their candor sliced the strain, but I held firm. Drove all this way? I asked, arms folded. Julie advanced. Family unites in crises. Your place here in Sacramento roomy. Levi chimed, temporary. Few months till I rebound. Kids deserve stable schools top here. I eyed Megan and Ford, aching for lost time. But flashes hit Levi's digs, Julie's accusation, Dad's trash label, Mom's push. Why now? I probed. After a silent decade. Julie crumpled. We erred that night. Levi was pressured, I snapped. Mom and Dad remorseful too. They're in Reno, pushed me to connect. It felt forced. 38 calls screamed, need not sorry. Levi added, broke flat, debts mounted post-crypto bust. Ford tugged Julie's sleeve. Aunt Monica got beds for us. His plea stung, stirring vanished family. Against better sense, I allowed entry short-term. Kids eyed the river view while Julie paced. Stunning setup, she said, scanning awards. You've built big. Levi nodded. Caught your agency buzz online last year. Knew you'd understand downturns. I sat them mind-swirling history. That night, no mishap, I said. Theft claim trash tag shoved out, total sever. Julie teared. Shielding ours. Levi influenced me. I interjected. He manipulated you, permitted. Here now, 'cause destitute. Levi bristled. We're requesting support, not scrutiny. Kid sensed shift forward behind Julie. I inhaled, facing ghosts. Part craved ejection, but Megan and Ford hardened it. Still no trampling. What exactly? I demanded, ready for plea testing bounds. I chose bounded aid rigid rules. Morning after my aide lined a furnished 3-bedroom in a decent Sacramento zone near schools. Cost $2,000 monthly. I covered 6 months. Emailed Levi contacts from my network ad agencies seeking crypto-savvy pros, but texted Julie firm interim only. No contact barring urgent further trouble terminates. Julie replied, swift thankful. We'll manage, she wrote. Kids thrilled. Levi's outreach started. I skipped reply, diving into client sessions and an ad seminar. Brittany called midday. Kind but vigilant, she cautioned. Prior pain. I confirmed limits, no loft, no dinners, essentials for footing. Weeks in quiet prevailed. Aid rent updates, Julie photo of Megan and Ford settling, beaming by boxes. It tugged kin, adapting. Maybe upside for them, even if not us. But murmurs emerged. A shared Reno contact in Sacramento flagged gossip at a mixer. Levi's telling folks you skewed family inheritance back home, she said, claiming you pressured Dad to reroute shares your way. I halted, echoes resounding. Sneak, then schemer now. Dug further, ringing mutuals. One affirmed Levi wove yarn in a pitch alleging I twisted envelope details to hoard. Falsehood, I shunned family cash since I left. But Levi victim posed, justifying relocation. Julie doubtless aware or overlooked. Evening video confront. Lies again, I insisted. Levi negated at first. Just airing. Queries arise. Julie backed him. He's tense, Monica. Mercy. Defensiveness sealed. Megan waved in the background, but I severed the call abruptly. Hands shook as I blocked them. Threshold crossed. Lawyer day next to halt rent post-current. No extend, no extras. Notified Levi leads 2 brief sans specifics. 1 callback bypassed him post-story mismatches. Brittany lunched unwavering. Correct step, she said. Static they. Fallout rapid. Julie sent a new email begging delay. Kids require, she wrote. Don't fault them our slips. Pattern repeat, leveraging the young while Levi poisoned. Unanswered. Mom rang from Reno pleading. Hardships, Monica, prolong aid. I denied. Boundary breached anew. Permanent. Full sever lifted weight though ached. Lock swapped security upped agency prioritized. No more for Megan and Ford. No pondering. Silent years schooled self-reliance betrayal cemented. Levi's scheme boomeranged costing prospects and my prop. Months after the cut fallout hit Julie and Levi hard. Kin relayed their temp unit expired sans renewal. They shifted to a dingy Sacramento Edge motel, thin walls and buzzing lights. Levi's prospects evaporated once contacts caught his spins. One agency barred him after checking tail inconsistencies. Julie quit a cafe shift amid complaints on her focus. Finances plunged Chapter 7 bankruptcy in Sacramento court. The judge was swift, mandating the sale of Levi's van and remnants. Isolation stung worse. Reno pals ceased responses, weary of excuses. In Sacramento, locals murmured about the broke pair. Julie tried social pleas, but feedback was harsh. Users highlighted Levi's deceptions. Megan and Ford faltered school-wise midterm swaps and questions on the sudden move. Julie's voicemail blamed me unanswered. Truth seeped. Marriage frayed under the weight. Levi out late shouts through walls. Contact hinted at divorce talks, custody ahead. Julie returned to Reno with the kids bunking at mom's cramped spot. Levi lingered odd gigs. Dad outreached less frail. Ruined them, Monica. I held. Self-done. That night's rift locked it. No more. But I wasn't done letting it slide. The repeated lies ignited something. I decided to turn the tables, using my agency network to expose the truth they'd buried. I started subtle digging into old emails and notes from that inheritance twist years back. Levi had fabricated details, then twisting my discovery into a scheme against them. With Brittany's input, I compiled evidence screenshots of his inconsistent stories records, showing he'd inquired about the envelope first, even before the dinner blow-up. Nothing illegal, but enough to show his manipulation pattern. Through agency contacts, marketing pros connected to Reno firms, I anonymously tipped off key players. A quick share in a private industry chat. Watch for inconsistencies in Levi Reed's background. Here's proof of past fabrications tied to family funds. It spread fast. One firm investigating for a hire pulled back after verifying. Another linked to his crypto circle blacklisted him when the dots connected to his failed investments looking shady. The ripple hit quick. Levi's remaining leads vanished, firms citing credibility issues. Their bankruptcy deepened as creditors dug into his stories, uncovering more holes. Julie's social posts backfired too. Comments flooded with links to the leaks, calling out the hypocrisy. Their marriage cracked wide. Arguments escalated, neighbors reporting police visits to the motel. Then the remorse came. One rainy evening, my loft buzzer rang nonstop. Peering at the camera there, they were Julie, Levi, even Dad and Mom soaked under umbrellas, kids huddled behind. Twist of fate, the storm mirrored that Reno night, but now roles reversed. I didn't buzz them up, but cracked the intercom. What now? Julie's voice broke. Monica, please, we're desperate. Everything's gone. Levi's blackballed house sold and auction, divorce filing started. Kids ask why. Levi added, defeated. I messed up spreading those stories. Didn't think it'd blow back. Dad chimed in, remorse thick. Called you trash, worst mistake. Forgive, help rebuild. Mom teared up. Family, Monica. One chance. Megan's small voice cut in. Aunt Monica, it's cold out here. It pulled, but memories flashed, accusation, trash, label, shove. You had chances. I said cold. Lies repeated, used kids as shields. No more. Julie begged. We regret everything lost because of us. Real remorse. I ended the feed, watching them linger before leaving drenched. Blocked new numbers alerted security. Cut complete, no replies. No second thoughts. Their downfall was self-made. My push just accelerated truth. The agency thrived, major contracts rolling in. I spoke more at events, weaving recovery tales echoing my escape from toxic ties. Reflecting boundaries saved me. Julie and Levi's collapse revealed manipulation's price. Court peeled the facade, circles fled, union crumbled. For me, lesson clear: protect with unyielding lines. Kin get no pass for abuse or deceit. Stand firm even if it means the long walk, not revenge survival. Building my own life is the ultimate triumph. From this, I learned family toxicity demands no sacrifice. Setting boundaries saves you, not selfish. It hurt, but now I'm stronger, undefined by others. If you're facing similar, remember: forgiveness isn't always healing. Shield yourself first, no one else will. This tale's value: it empowers spotting manipulation early and building resilience without past weights. It helps you craft life on your terms. Thanks for hearing my story. If it resonates, like and subscribe for more real shares. Comment below with your boundary tales. Let's connect.